Welcome dear students. This is paper 5 sampling techniques and design of experiments. Unit 2 stratified random sampling technique. This is the first lecture on stratified random sampling technique. In this lecture we are going to discuss the introduction to stratified random sampling technique, definition of stratified random sampling technique, and advantages of stratified random sampling technique over simple random sampling technique, and notations and terminology that are used in stratified random sampling technique. First, let us look at the need for stratification. So far, we have seen simple random sampling technique. In simple random sampling technique, there are two methods. One is SRS with replacement and SRS without replacement. Among these two methods, simple random sampling without replacement is the best method since the variance of SRS WOR is less than SRS WR. Let us look at this. This is the variance of Y bar in simple random sampling without replacement, capital N minus small n by capital N into S square by N. But for large population size, this variance of Y bar becomes S square by N itself. This term capital N minus small n by capital N is finite population correction. This finite population correction becomes 1 as the population size increases. Look here, this ratio, as capital N increases, this ratio tends to 0, 1 remains. So the variance of the estimate depends on two factors. One is it is inversely proportional to the sample size. That is, if we increase the sample size, the variance of the estimate decreases. But increasing the sample size includes the cost and time management. Next is, it is directly proportional to the population variance S square. That means that variance of Y bar is directly proportional to the variability or homogeneity among the sampling units. If variability in the sampling units is more, then the population variance S square will also be more and hence variance of sample mean increases. Let us look at the concept precision. The precision of the estimate of population mean is given by P is equal to 1 by variance of Y bar, that is equal to small n by capital S square. We can increase the precision of the estimate either by increasing the sample size small n or by decreasing the value of capital S square. Any increase in sample size will increase the cost of the survey. The increase of sample size depends on the availability of funds. Therefore, it may not always be possible to increase the sample size. Hence, the only alternative to reduce the variance of the estimate is to reduce the value of S square, that is population variance. But variance is inherent in nature. We cannot find homogeneous population. In homogeneous population, variance is less, but variance is inherent. There is heterogeneity in the population. We have to divide that heterogeneous population into homogeneous subgroups. This is possible if variability or homogeneity among sampling units is reduced. To achieve this, the best procedure is stratification of the population. That is, stratification means dividing the population into various groups such that the units within the group or block or stratum are homogeneous. Where the basis for such division may be past data or some other information. Some of the commonly used factors for stratification are age. Among age, we have young age, middle age, and old age. We can stratify them into young age, middle age, and old age people. Sex. There are two categories in sex, males, females. Among males, we can find uniformity. Among female, we can find uniformity. And education. In education, we have literates and illiterates. Among literates, we have up to 10th class, intermediate, we have graduates, and we have postgraduates. We can subdivide them according to their educational qualifications. And income level. Income level also is the basis for stratification. There are low income population, median income, and upper middle class people income. Like that, we can divide the income levels, or we can divide according to geographical area. We can stratify the statewide units, and we can classify district wide, and we can classify mandal wise, etc. These are the basis for stratifications. And this is the introduction of stratified random sampling technique. Look here carefully. This is capital N is size of the population. This total population is divided into k homogeneous subgroups in the population. From each subgroup, a sample of size small ni is drawn. Look here. This table gives the complete picture of stratification and selection of units from each status. The population, we have k subdivisions, n1, n2, like that. Total population is capital N. Summation I is equal to 1 to k ni gives us the total population. Similarly, the small n1 is the first stratum sample size, small n2 is the second stratum sample size. If we all stratum samples, we can get the sample small n. This ni's are stratum sample sizes. Here, the proper care is to be taken to determine the strata and sampling within each stratum. The selection is carried out at random. The sample results would be unbiased if the samples are selected randomly. In first stratum, the stratum is homogeneous subgroup. Within each stratum, we use simple random sampling technique. The stratification is the bifurcation, the division of the total population into subgroups. Within each stratum, again we have used simple random sampling technique only. That too, we have to decide the sample size carefully, and from each stratum, we have to draw samples randomly only. This is the definition of stratified random sampling technique. Dividing total population into homogeneous subgroups and then selecting samples randomly from them by simple random sampling technique is called stratified random sampling technique. Advantages of stratification. First advantage is there are number of advantages compared to simple random sampling technique. The first advantage is a stratified random sample is a better representative of the population than a simple random sample. In simple random sampling, some areas may be overrepresented, some areas may be underrepresented, and some may be excluded altogether. But in stratified random sampling, all the areas are properly represented. This is because of entire population is divided into different strata, and from each stratum a fixed number of units are selected independently. Thus, stratified random sample is better representative of the population. It is considered as the efficient sampling method. The next advantages is it gives estimates with more precision. Stratified random sampling technique gives estimates with more precision. Further, we can obtain precision for each stratum separately. And the third advantage is sampling units in stratified random sampling are more concentrated geographically compared to simple random sampling. Therefore, the time and money required for collecting the data will be considerably reduced. Also, supervision of fieldwork could be attended with greater ease and convenience. Thus, stratified random sampling is administratively more convenient than other methods of sampling. Next advantage is sometimes the sampling problems will be different in different strata. For example, the population may consist of literates and illiterates, or people living in hostels, hospitals, jails, and those living in ordinary homes. In such situations, each of the above case can be considered as stratum. This is a special advantage of stratified random sampling technique. Let us look at the notations and terminology. Let capital N be the size of the population as we have seen earlier. The Y be the character under study. The population is divided into K strata. That is, we have seen in the table N is equal to I is equal to 1 to K N I. Let us suppose the sample. Also, we have seen in the table small n is equal to I is equal to 1 to K Ni. We divide total population into K subpopulations, and from each subpopulation N samples have been K samples have been drawn, and all samples altogether sum up to small n. This is n total number of units. Ni is the number of population units in ith stratum. Small ni is the number of units selected through simple random sampling without replacement from ith stratum. Total sample size drawn from all strata equal to small n. Let Yij, look here carefully, Yij, I is equal to 1 to k, j is equal to 1 to ni be the value of jth unit in the ith stratum. Jth unit in the ith stratum. If we understand the table clearly, we can easily understand the notations and terminology involved in stratified random sampling technique. Look here, this is the first stratum. We have yn1 observations, yn1 observations in first stratum. Total stratum total is I is equal to 1 to ni, capital Y1j, and the stratum mean is given by 1 by n1 summation I is equal to n1 y1j. The first stratum mean is yn1 bar. Similarly, this is the second stratum, this is the ith stratum, this is the kth stratum. We have the total population size capital N. These are the stratum totals. These stratum totals can be denoted as summation I is equal to 1 to ki, k, capital N, I dot. This is the stratum mean. If we add all these individual stratum means, we can get the population total. Population mean. This is population mean. This is stratum means, and this is population mean. This is given by 1 by capital N summation I is equal to 1 to k summation j is equal to 1 to ni y ij. We denote the total stratum total mean is y bar n. This is the repetition population mean of ith stratum. Particularly for ith stratum, we denote it y bar ni, that is equal to 1 by ni, summation I is equal to 1 to ni yij. This is the, we have already discussed. Look here, this is the p is the new concept. Look here carefully. This is y bar ni is equal to 1 by ni, j is equal to 1 to ni, yij is the ith stratum mean. If we want this j is equal to 1 to ni yij, this ni multiplies here. Ni multiplies here. Similar to summation yi is equal to capital N into y bar. Similar to that. If we replace, instead of I is equal to 1 to ni yij, ni into y bar. Ni into y bar. This is same 1 by n into I is equal to 1 to k. This small ni by this ni by n gives p. This is the proportion. Pi is equal to ni by n, and this is the another form of population mean y bar n. The population terms, we can write different formulae as population and sample terms also. This is the ith stratum mean we have discussed. This is the population mean of stratified sample, and mean square. This is ith stratum mean square. Si square is equal to 1 by ni minus 1. I summation j is equal to 1 to capital N yij minus y bar ni whole square. You remember, this is similar to mean square of discussed in simple random sampling. The only difference is i's and j's here. This is the population mean square. I is equal to 1 to n, I is equal to 1 to k n minus 1, summation j is equal to 1 to ni yij minus y bar n whole square. Similarly, we can write, this is the ith sample. For sample, ith stratum mean is small y bar ni is equal to 1 to ni, summation j is equal to ni yij. This is the sample mean, and mean square of ith sample stratum. This is the mean square of sample. Let us look at the stratified sample mean. We consider the two estimates of population mean y bar, which will be given as stratified sample mean y bar is equal to 1 by n into I is equal to 1 to k ni into y ni. Similar to this is we have discussed for population, and this is similar to sample also. Here small ni by n is the small pi. If ni small ni by n is equal to capital Ni by n, then we can write the stratified sample mean considered as y bar st, and it is given by y bar st is equal to 1 by n into I is equal to 1 to k capital Ni y bar ni. This is nothing but I is equal to 1 to k pi y bar ni. Here pi is the weight of the ith stratum. Okay, so far we have discussed the need for stratification and definition of stratified random sampling, and the advantages of stratified random sampling technique, and notations and terminology used in stratified random sampling technique, like ith sample mean, ith population mean, ith stratum mean, total sample mean, and mean square of samples and populations altogether. Thank you.